welcome to our channel. All right, so this is our first YouTube channel or video. Well, both.
Yeah, both.
And we decided to do it as best friends. Of course, why not? And yeah, so today we're going to do a chit chat and we're going to eat and talk a little bit about friendships. And yeah, we're going to just go through it. So let's dig in and cheers first.
You're so corny.
I love cheers. They say you have to cheers and then you gotta look. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So anyways, Today we're going to be eating carne asada fries.
From Roberto's.
From Roberto's, from
our favorite
town.
spot.
Yes.
And brings back so many memories.
It does, always. So it has, of course, carne asada, pico. I don't know how to say the full name, so don't judge me. Guacamole, they care. Guacamole, all the fixings, refried beans, yeah. So it has all the good stuff. So we're gonna eat that and talk. We're gonna talk again about friendships. So the first thing we want to talk about. Let me pull it up because I have my notes. That just graded. Maintaining a friendship. First of all, let's start with how we became friends. So we became friends in high school. Mm-hmm. She was in her senior year. I was in my junior year. We met through another mutual friend. We don't need to say her name. And yeah, so then we all became like a little quad. Yeah, a little quad. But then we dropped one friend because she just was, we'll talk about that ending friendships. We ended a friendship with her, individuals. One of them didn't because that was her cousin. But yeah, we ended the friendship with her. And then it was the three of us. Then we all kind of split up, which we'll talk about arguing and stuff like that. And then we're kind of back together, but not really. But yeah. So yeah. Anyways, we've had our ups and downs.
Yep. Okay.
So we had a lot of beautiful friendships moments. All right. Hi guys. We're back. So we're going to talk about friendships. So the first thing is maintaining, right?
Yeah.
Maintaining a friendship. Okay.
Yep.
So this is, again, our personal opinions. Well, not again. This is our personal opinions. Disclaimer. We are not
telling anyone what to do, what you should do.
We don't specialize in friendship counseling. I don't know.
It's just how we've been able to maintain friendships, and not just with each other, but with other people. As you get older, you'll learn along the way. It is very rare to stay friends with people that you knew in high school. You know what they say. Most of your lifelong friends are from college. But it's just different from any aspect of your life, any type of friend that you have. You know, we all go into friendships thinking that they're going to last for a long time. It doesn't always work out that way. But if you try to do your part in the friendship and do the best that you can and bring forth you put your best foot forward in a friendship, then you can walk away from that friendship knowing that you were actually a good person. You didn't contribute to drama and, all the other crap that's in between. So, with that being said, maintaining friendships. You want to go first on how you maintain friendships?
Friendships? Yeah. So, I think a good way to maintain a friendship is by the biggest one, or I would say the two biggest ones, communication. Letting your guard down and establishing where you are at in your life when it comes to friends, like what you want as your, kind of doing in a weird way, a mission statement of how you want your friendships to be, especially because all friendships are different. So how you want your friendship to be with that person, how can your guys' friendship thrive? What do you both need from the friendship? So that's a good way of maintaining. Not saying you have to have some ooey gooey conversation, but you definitely have to also let each other know how you are as a friend. So that can help maintain it, because then you guys know where you both stand with each other. So with communication, you definitely need to know when to communicate when, you need something more out of a friendship, or when the person upsets you, you need to definitely let them know. And then you need to let them know word for word how you're going to feel, especially if you're going to, because everybody vents to other people. So if you're going to vent to somebody else, you need to make sure the energy you had with that person, you've had it with your friend too, so that they don't think you're going behind their back, talking smack. You're saying things that you weren't saying to their face. So you need to kind of be able to, what you're going to vent to somebody else about, even if it's a significant other or something, you need to make sure it was something you could have said to your best friend. So that way they don't feel some type of way, because they're like, okay, you said that to me before, or, this is something you would have said, so I don't feel like you're kind of being backstabbing me, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I think is a good way of maintaining a friendship. But it takes a lot of work.
my way of maintaining a friendship is kind of like the opposite, so to speak.
Really?
So to kind of like pick up where she left off, we all want to vent, right? My thing is, if you're gonna vent, like let's say you have a friend and she or he is doing all this dumb stuff, right? You give them your opinion, advice, but they don't do anything to change their situation. Like they're always complaining about something, right? We all have that one friend that's always complaining about their situation in their life, but when you give them advice, they don't do anything or take any steps to change what's going on, right? The way that I feel about that, if you're going to vent, because that is frustrating and it's annoying, right? You care and you're trying to help them, but they don't want to help themselves. I would just suggest venting to someone who doesn't even know that person. Because if you're venting to a mutual friend, then that's how the game of telephone starts. And maybe it's like you didn't want to say anything that would hurt that person's feelings. You just wanted to get out, the negativity or the thoughts, so you can think clearly or whatever the case may be. But when you vent to that mutual friend, then next thing you know, the mutual friend is going back to the other person. Oh yeah, me and so were talking.
See, that's why you have an open communication.
Because I feel like, but see, at the same time, you have friends who don't want to hear what you're saying.
But then
if you're telling somebody the truth, people become defensive and they don't want to hear what you're saying.
That's communication. Like your other friend should say, like, hey. Your other friend you should know how that other friend is too, so you know who to communicate. Because the thing is, look,
it doesn't matter who you are.
If I communicate my frustrations about you to a stranger, the only impression they're gonna have and the only idea they can come up with is what you tell them. So what if you're venting, like in a sense, what you're mad at that person? Like, okay,
not necessarily. No, because like for example, if I vent to like my dad, even though he don't want to listen.
So no, that's different. That's a parent. They're going to look at it all differently.
Either way, it's someone who doesn't know that friend.
But no, this is what's going to happen.
Or, for example,
see the friends,
right?
But
listen, because you're not even letting me get it out. Like for example, you didn't even let me get my example out. For example, I have friends who are older than me, so they have been through a lot of the things that I am currently going through. So I would talk to them about certain friendships or things in my life.
So you have to pick and choose, because what's going to happen is, if say you vent to your one friend that you were recently FaceTiming, I don't want to say her name, we don't, because people might not want to be in the video, and tell her, say you're telling her, I'm so frustrated at Erica, she's flaky, she won't show up, I was mad at her because she said she was gonna hang out with me but she canceled. Your friend doesn't know me, she doesn't know how I work my dynamics, so what she could do in return is kind of ride your coattails and be, yeah, girl, she a trifling friend. Don't talk to her. She's trifling as AF because she doesn't know me. Versus where maybe like another friend that kind of knows us could be like, well, you know how Erica is. Don't take it offense. Or you just have to. I guess you're right. You should pick and choose. Make sure the person you pick,
the person is logical.
Yeah, but not everybody is. So you don't know what you're going to get yourself into. So either way it goes, though, there is a chance you shouldn't vent to anybody, period, because that other friend cannot like you. And then what if I decide to meet her because you want us to become friends, but she don't like me because of what you told her? So that can mess up the whole dynamic of us trying to be friends. So if you're going to vent, my biggest thing is, if you're going to vent, make sure whatever you say to that friend, you tell them. And then it's about trust. So you got to realize, is that person going to
somebody else who don't know that person? So it cuts out a little bit of the pettiness.
What if I'm going to meet your boo or your one best friend? Like your birthday party, you invite everybody. So what if I'm going to meet that person? And then they got an attitude with me?
Because it goes back to what you just said.
It's whatever you say.
What you just said, which was, make sure you know who you're venting to and the type of person that they are.
Yeah, you have to make sure.
A lot of my good friends, my lifelong friends that I do have, are older than me. In the comment
section, how you feel about venting to friends. Let us know if you guys feel like you should vent or not vent to friends. And it doesn't have to be friends. It could be like, is it okay as a friend, if you're frustrated, to vent about that friend to someone else, whoever it is? And if not, say why or yes, give us your input. I personally think if you have to vent, just make sure you are careful with what you say, so you are confident in what you said. You always have to pick and choose how you say things, because at the end of the day, you're going to want to vent.
I never even got to finish.
And if there's telephone, you just have to know as a friend, like if somebody telephones to me what Tatiana said, I'm not going to believe them, because I'm going to go to her mouth and see what she said, because I know Tatiana, she going to tell me like it is, what she said and how she said it. So that's another thing. You have to have trust between your friendship to know that somebody's not doing telephone right. That's my opinion.
Because And back to what I was originally saying, right? Because it's hard to keep up with the lie, but it's not hard to keep up with the truth. But back to what I was originally saying, like another way that I maintain friendships, and to piggyback off of what Erica said, communication is key. But also know who you're dealing with and accept your friends for who they are. Okay, I say this because there are going to be things about your friends that you don't like. And I got this advice from a good, someone who I used to be friends with, is we all have different types of friends. So you'll have your friends that are friends for going out. You have your friends that are good friends for talking to. You have your friends, different group of friends, and then just don't try to mix it. So if you have that homegirl that's always trying to, go out and go to the club and party and get dressed up and do all this extra stuff, but you're feeling upset and you want to talk about your life and what's going on with you, I wouldn't recommend calling that homegirl, because that's not what she really cares about. She might care, but at the end of the day, her main focus might be going out and clubbing and stuff like that. Or, don't try to, or if you're in the party mood and you want to have a hot girl summer, you want to kick it, don't hit up the homegirl that is the homebody. She want to stay at the house and chill, and she don't really want to do stuff like that. I'm not throwing shade. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get frustrated because you're going to invite her out. She's going to say no. You already know what her answer is going to be. But you're going to get upset because I always invite you out and you never want to kick it.
But I don't think it's a way to get...
No, I'm just saying...
You shouldn't get frustrated over it.
You have to know who your friend is.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's definitely
get frustrated.
true.
There's times where I would get frustrated with you.
But you got to be careful, because some people do get in their feelings if they see that, some people, even though they don't go out a lot, because I have people like this in my life, if you don't go out a lot... Sometimes you just want the invite, though. You want to know that you're thought about. I've had, when I used to have some friends,
I would be without the expectation.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah, if, you have to also, like she said, know your friend and know the relationship. But you also got to, and it's not rude. It's not exhausting to simply invite somebody, even if they're going to say no. I used to have friends, but I mix coworkers and friends, which you should never do.
I do it all the time.
I would see that they're having fun without me. And at that point in my life, I was willing to go out and have fun with them. Maybe not every event, but I was willing to go out and have fun with them. And the 5 times they went out that I would have went, they didn't invite me, and it would kind of hurt my feelings, because it's hey, I know I might say no a lot, but there's sometimes that I might be saying yes, but it's just the simple invite, just if we're really good friends, a simple invite. And if I say no, don't take it offense, don't get in your feelings well, I'm never going to ask her again. It's just maybe at that moment something's going on and they don't want to go out, but then they might decide to go out. But you shouldn't take it offense all the time, but I do see how people take it offense, because it's just I really want to hang out with you specifically and you're saying no. But sometimes you got to get out your feelings with friendships, because friendships are going to be... Some friendships are always going to have roller coasters where you're constantly maintaining it. Some you don't even have to do the bare minimum. So you can't always be in your feelings in friendships. That's one thing too, I think, is maintaining. Don't always be in your feelings, because it's going to make the friendship dry. It could frustrate the other friend. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just.
But you can see we're kind of yin and yang, because I am that friend that I don't want to go out all the time, but when I do want to go out, I invite this one, and she don't want to do anything. She's I want to stay at home. I'm feeling lazy. And then in the past, I would get really, really frustrated, because I'm oh my gosh, she doesn't want to do anything, and I want to do this stuff, and we're young, we should go do this stuff. But then I started to accept her for who she is. And I do have other friends where I'm hey, girl, you want to go to this bar? Okay, let's go to a pool party. Let's go do this. And they're down. So you just have to know how to balance the two and accept your friend for who they are. Which leads me to my final point on maintaining friendships. Make sure that you are friends with people who are on your level mentally. Doesn't matter about the financial part. Doesn't matter about the material part. It has to be mentally, because we all heard it. Birds of a feather flock together. So if you're someone who is on the grind, trying to get this money, trying to start a business, but you got that friend who's just a party girl and just wants to kick it all the time, you guys are going to clash a lot. It's going to cause a lot of problems, because you guys are not thinking the same. But if you have friends that you guys balance each other out, and they're on their grind, but they want to kick it every now and then just to blow off steam, that's going to be a more genuine friendship. You guys aren't going to clash as much, and you guys have more in common. Because if you hanging out with homegirl who, loosey goosey, people are gonna think you loosey goosey. People are gonna assume that about you because birds of a feather flock together.
Hi guys, we're back. All right, so back to our topics and everything. So any more things about maintaining a friendship?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So I guess the next thing we'll talk about is blowouts. Or arguments? I don't know what we should say.
Fallouts.
There you go. So having a fallout with a friend. We've had a couple fallouts before in the past. And I guess it does kind of tie into like maintaining a friendship and communication and who to speak to, because a lot of our fallouts were because of he said, she said. So it was like we had this one, she was a good friend at the time, who would tend to kind of like go to both of us and vent about one another and tell each other what we said. Sometimes she probably wouldn't tell the accurate information, so it kind of made us mad at each other. So I guess that would be the thing too, like with blowouts, is picking and choosing who to tell. I don't know, like we just had blowouts and our communication wasn't kind of set in stone, so we would like believe that person, and we didn't think that person had a reason to lie, so we would believe her on what she had told us about one another and then vent to her about one another and then not really tell each other how we felt. We'll kind of just like not say anything to one another, and then we finally blown up, we'll tell each other what we heard, and it's just too late at that point, and then one of us is done talking to one another and then we block each other and we're done for good. So handling a blowout, if you get in a big argument, it happens. Friendships get in big arguments, or friends get in big arguments. It happens sometimes. We're not always going to be like twins, or not even twins, but just like in sync. Like we're not the same people. We're two different people. So we're going to get in arguments. But if you have like a big argument, it's best to always just, if you need to take that space to think about what happened and, also see how that person's coming from. And then if you can't come back in a mature way and be like, okay, this is wrong, this is right, this is how I feel, let's have a civil conversation, then you either need more time apart or you need to end the friendship. That's my opinion. What is yours?
Just keep your stuff off of social media. The world doesn't need to know that you're fighting with your friend, boyfriend, mom, dad, sister.
Did you have a bad blowout over social media?
No, just keep it off of social media.
I was like, social media? I was like, girl, who you have a social media argument with?
We're in a day and age where people just screenshot stuff to be messy. No one wants to see you happy. So people thrive off of drama. So they're going to message you, hit you up, hey girl, what happened? What's going on? But it's not to see if you're okay. It's just to see what the drama is, and then they can just go back to the girl, guess what I heard? She just fell out with so-and-so. They fighting over a man. They fighting over a baby daddy. They fighting over a child. Whatever the case is. So it's not, when people hit you up, it's not for your general well-being or that they genuinely care. It's just to be messy. So keep it off of social media. Like, I don't know why people do that anyway. I think that's the silliest thing ever. You fighting with your baby daddy's baby mama, you fighting with your cousin over some drama, and then you take to put it on Facebook, knowing that you don't block the girl or the guy or whoever, you block them, but you talking all that mess on Facebook, knowing good and doggone well that they're going to screenshot it and send it to that person that caused more drama. Then y'all planning to fight, or it's on set. It's not that serious. First of all, people don't need to know your business because they talking about you behind your back anyway, calling you crazy, stupid, all kind of stuff because you put your business on social media. Okay? They're laughing at you because you posted that. They like the drama because it's not nothing going on with their lives. How many people do you know that they're going through stuff silently and you never knew? Why? Because they didn't put it on social media. You actually got to call them and text them to see what's going on with them. But you living your whole life on social media. So you fall out with your best friend because, you did her hair and she was supposed to pay you a certain amount of money, but then thought she got the friend discount and you mad about your money. Like, leave social media out of it. People do not need to know every single aspect of your life.
That's true. Yeah, you should just keep blowouts and situations off of social media. Don't take it there unless you're ready to finish what you started. I'm just kidding. But Okay. Yeah, blowouts just happen. You always just, if you're that friend who knows you're the type of person where when you get angry, you say mean things when you're angry, then you should just know as a friend, if you really want to keep that friendship and you're getting to that level, to walk away, and then your friend should hopefully understand, like, okay, she's walking away for a reason. But hopefully you're that type of friend. I mean, not every argument you could sit down and have a logical argument or a calm argument. So yeah, it's just knowing how far to take your arguments, and knowing which arguments are worth taking that far, which arguments you just have to let go, because is it worth getting mad and worked up and having that moment over? But yeah, it's gonna happen with friendships. You guys have blowouts, or you guys fight. It's gonna happen. So you just gotta understand that friendship and that dynamic and know how to take it to where it needs to go, I guess. How to make up and move forward with arguments. One, you just have to be transparent and understand that you both probably said some things about one another that you were in your feelings about. It's up to you as a friend if you want to tell each other what you said, or just at that point say, you know what, let's just forget about it. But when you make up with a friend, you should at least be transparent enough to tell them, like, that particular thing made you upset, so it doesn't happen again in the new friendship. That's all I think I have to say about that, honestly. Just making sure you establish why you were mad about that argument. Like, we had some blowouts, so like when we talked, like, there was times I think we could say we talked about, but not really to a certain point. Like we did this last one when we came back together. We had a big blowout. Honestly, I can't remember what was happening behind the scenes.
I remember
about the argument. I mean, everything. I might have told you what happened, but it could have been way more deeper, or it could have been way more hype. But it was just like, it was a situation, and I got upset. I hyped myself up, and instead of talking to her about it, I kind of just
cut me off.
Found that trigger that I guess there was a trigger in a conversation that made me just. I kind of used that trigger, I guess you could say, or the ammunition to argue, and I cut her off, and then we never talked again. And then recently we hit each other back up, and this time we had a real resolution. Like, I told her how I felt about situations. She told me how she felt. We established to one another where we were in our lives.
Boundaries. We established boundaries.
That was the biggest thing.
Certain things were off limits. So certain things that I'm not comfortable with, that I don't care about and that I don't care to hear about, I let her know. Like, I don't want to hear about these things. Yeah. I don't care about these things because in the end it's caused problems and you don't like my opinion, and so let's just cut that out. Same thing with her. Like, if you feel a certain type of way, come to me. I don't want to hear about it from other people, yada, yada, yada. So we establish those boundaries and stick to those boundaries. And also, we cut out the middleman.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So yeah, we cut that out. We had to cut that out.
Which leads us to our final topic, which is when to end a friendship. I think for me, and I'm gonna go first. For me, when I know when to end a friendship is when that person is no longer contributing to my success in life. If I'm constantly hearing about your drama, or you have a lot of drama, or we're arguing, or whatever the case, or I feel like I'm putting more effort into a friendship, I'm calling you to check on you, I'm texting you, and you don't reciprocate that, because at the end of the day, we all have stuff going on in our lives, okay? But as human beings, we cannot be so selfish, because just because you're going through something doesn't mean your friend isn't going through something. That's not okay, and that's how friendships go sour, because one person is giving and the other person is just taking. And that's not cool. So when I notice that people are doing that with me, because I'm a good listener, I try to be there for everyone. But at the end of the day, I go through my own things too. And I realize that you're not contributing to, my success in life, my mental well-being, and all that stuff, and you only care about yourself, then it's time to go. Now, a flaw for me is I will just stop talking to a person. And I realize with certain people do need that last conversation. People do need that closure to know, like, hey, like, why are you not talking to me? Why are we not friends anymore? And at the time when I was younger, I didn't understand that, because I'm like, you know what? Just cut him out of my life, and that's it. You're done. I don't have nothing to say to you. But then being an adult, and it has happened to me before, I realized that last conversation is very important. Like, hey, listen, you know, you're a good person or I like you, but I just feel like I can't be friends with you. I kind of don't want you in my life. You don't have to be rude when you say it. You can be an adult and have this adult conversation. You can say your last piece and block them if you need to, but at the end of the day, at least you're giving them that closure while you're closing that door, so they know. And then maybe in the back of their mind, it might click and they might fix it for their next friendships. They might vent and talk all this crap about you, but as long as you can let it go and let it out peacefully, you'll have that peace. And the drama, let's say, you know, you do that, and that person goes to social media talking about you and saying you're this and you're that, you know what I mean? You'll be at peace of mind. You won't even care because you thought in your mind, listen, I tried everything that I could. I did everything that I could. I was mature about the situation. I had a conversation with her. She didn't respect it or appreciate it. That's on her. That cuts out the drama from your life. But, you know, you have to know when to let go. There are people who are going to be in your life from childhood or from, like, you know, for years. And sometimes you still have to walk away from those friendships because that person is negative. Because if you constantly surround yourself with somebody else's negativity, that brings a lot of drama and stress in your life, and stress can affect you physically, mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. So you don't want to allow someone else's drama to impact your life, even if you want to be there for them because, you know, they've held you down in the past. But guess what? They're not holding you down now. Sometimes it is okay to, you know, cut those strings. And if you guys don't agree, let me know. But that's just my opinion.
That's true. You know, I agree to an extent. Like, you have to... Not saying like it's like, I'm not trying to say like you have to gain something out the friendship, but it definitely has to benefit you in some way, especially mentally. So like, you know, like she said, there's some friends that, I don't know, like there's just some friends that aren't there for you mentally, and mental health is a big thing. So if they're not there for you mentally, you gotta definitely realize, if it's worth the friendship or not, or cutting them out. I mean, definitely have a conversation before you just cut them out. Maybe they'll care enough to try to fix it, and then if they don't, then that's probably a clear cut them out. But yeah, my thing definitely is a friend that's like trying to, we don't have to compete. I'm not saying they always have to be where I'm at because everybody's in different lives, but I definitely don't like, and it doesn't have to end the friendship, but it definitely doesn't make it better when a friend is content with where they are, but where they are isn't benefiting their life. That frustrates me, especially when they have all the answers, they have all the resources. Yes, it's going to take hard work, but a friend who doesn't want to put the work in to get where they're at, it just frustrates me. And it just like, as a friend, I care and it stresses me out. So sometimes I'm like, I might have to cut them out because I can't deal with it. Or there's just friends who literally like love chaos, love drama. They love the down rut state they're at, but it's just sometimes it might affect you or pull you in, and then you got to cut them off. We had a friend that we cut off, like I said, the one that introduced us, and it's just because she wasn't going nowhere in her life.
Oh, yeah.
She wasn't a good friend. I didn't like how like the dynamic between us, because like me, I'm kind of,
she's always in competition.
Yeah, she was always in competition, or like she always tried to make sure she was like above us when you got to the fact she wasn't. Not trying to be in a rude way, saying like but at the end of the day, there's a difference between like, you know, basic stuff. Like all of us are graduating. Okay, all of us are trying to get our diplomas, get it in life. Here she is trying to say like, oh, I'm graduating early. I'm graduating so early.
I'm so smart. I was always the smartest person. I know
she was the smartest one.
So this person would constantly try to one up me and her, and be like, oh, well, you're not the only smart one in the group. I know all these big words too. My grandmama taught me etiquette, so I know how like the right forks and like all this stuff. Like, you know, she taught me good dinner etiquette and all this stuff just to one up us, because she felt like we thought that we were better than her, but that's not the case. We were all just friends. We're kids. We don't care about any of that stuff. But you're constantly trying to one up people and trying to talk like you know everything, so people will look up to you. The only people who are going to look up to you are ignorant people who don't know any better. I saw straight through that.
I think it was also because she, not even just her, there's some people in their lives where they know certain things in their lives aren't the way they want, but they want everyone else to think different or something. Not even to be jealous or anything, just to be like, maybe to feel part of it. I don't know. Either way, she was just like too much. Okay, we're back.
All right, where did we leave off? And then so we can finish. So
basically, with a friendship or ending a friendship, this is what happened that made me end this girl's friendship. Yours too. You surround yourself around people that you want to either be like, or you want that that will also want as well to go wherever you guys need to go. So if they're stagnant in a bad, negative situation in their life, bad energy, you just gotta leave it. That's just my opinion. But yeah, this is our first video. I hope you guys like it. Tell us what we should talk about more, because we're trying to do like cute little chit chat topics. I don't know what else to talk about. Just friendships, man. Tell us if we missed anything.
More importantly, we want to hear your opinions. I'm always open to hear another person's perspective, how they would handle things, or just the way they would do things pertaining to our topics that we talked about. How we broke it up or whatever. So we're definitely curious. So like, comment, more importantly, subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
This girl. Okay. So thank you guys for those of you who actually watch this whole crazy thing. Thank you for coming and sitting and
watching our first
listening
video
to us. And we will see you next time.
Yep. Bye.
All this fashion, when you get fashion, she want fashion, she get fashion.